Right, just making a quick video this morning. I just want to show people this and show people what people know happens, but are they actually looking at what takes place? Now, at night time, about 4 in the morning is normally the coldest sort of time in the morning, just before daybreak. So just before daybreak, the temperature normally drops. That's when it's normally the coldest it is through the night, just before morning. And what happens is you get dews, like everything gets covered in water, or you get the mist. Like the mist comes in and it soaks everything, gives all the plants a drink, but without raining. Like if you look now, like the floor is still damp, the mud, the soil is damp, and it's sunny, it hasn't rained, but a lot of sun. The leaves, the plants need water. So what takes place is that through the night, or just before day, the temperature drops. If I show you on there, you can see all the water. So the temperature drops and all the plants get drink. All the plants get drink. You can see all the water on there. And even on that, you can see the heat sort of coming out of that. Or some form of energy. Whatever that is, you see it sometimes when you're up close, especially when the heat highlights it. But I just want to show people what's going on around. So if I come here, try and get it in. It's probably easier if I go out and then go back in again where I am there. I'm too far out. So now this tree is starting to bud. So if you look at the buds on that tree, they're different to all the way the other trees start. See, like now you have green everywhere, like the trees are out, and if you come down, you know, some of these are up nearly a foot now. In a month, you see how much life is just starting to, how everything is just shooting up, and it's quite rapid. Down here now, I'll show you down here. It's only a week ago there was no life through here, but now as you look down there, even on the like that, you can see the green appearing amongst what looks dead still, some of it. But if you go like that, you can see all the green appearing. All the leaves on the trees all appearing. And yeah, you can see the green coming through, life coming back everywhere. But everything is different, and everything is happening at different times but at the same time. How it was designed to work, how it all works. Now if you look up to this tree, it has like pod things like that. What they are, I don't know. Whether that's the start of seeds or it's leaves or whatever, I don't know. I've never seen one of these trees grow leaf before. Paid attention. But that's different to the other tree. The bark on the tree is completely different. The shape of the tree is completely different. The heights and everything is different. So I come over to this tree. And come up. Let me see if I can get a bit of a picture of these, because these are white. Those like white furry fucking yeah, I might be able to get a better shot of the colour back here. Yeah, so if you look there, they are actually more whitey colour in a different light, but that's a completely different way it's starting the tree to, you can still see the one next to it. And this one is different again. I think that's different to that one down there. It might not be, it might just be starting at an early stage. I think it is actually the same one I showed you a minute ago. But the way it starts to grow, whether it's seeds or leaves, like I said, I don't know. But all the trees are completely different. Everywhere you look, if you come down, it's now, you know, massive, just everything growing. But like I said, everything is watered. If you understand the weather and what the weather is and how it works with the light and the water. Now, anything that's needs human beings really to tend to that much. A lot of flowers that people plant in gardens in the asylum are probably mutants. They're probably mutants. Just create pretty colours. Pretty colours for wackos. Because they've been surrounded by pretty colours their whole fucking lives. Pretty colours. That's what your babies are born into. Is completely wacko environments. Completely wacko environment. With bright colours, silly pictures, letters and numbers on the wall. They're locked in a cage. They're put in a cage at birth, separated and put in a cage. Because you have mental patients having children. Complete wackos who are responsible for bringing children up. Now, I'm no different. I'm no different at all. Hang on, let me get my stereo so I can put it on there and have a little sit down while I'm talking. But yeah, basically, I'm no different. I was a complete wacko. In control. Or then in responsibility of bringing a child into the world. So, what happens is that child is born into this world, into a completely weird, unnatural environment where the second they're born, they're being stabbed with needles. Welcome to the world. Start jabbing you up with needles and solutions the second you're born. Then the mother is in no fit state to feed that child, because that's an ordeal. Giving birth is a fucking ordeal. And you give the baby formula, special formula. You give the baby's formula. I gave my son his first food in the outside world. Now, that shouldn't take place. One, I'm a man, I don't have a pair of tits. That baby should be going to a woman with a pair of tits that is in a fit state to feed that baby, and whose milk is suitable for that baby to drink. The mother needs a lot of time to recover and for the milk to sweeten. She's not ready to feed babies. Because of the ordeal that is human birth. The size of the baby compared to the woman, and the reason it comes out a maggot, it's a maggot. And like I've pointed out, should be worn across the chest so it just can get food whenever it wants. But they're born into the wacko mental asylum and stabbed with needles the second they're born, handed to males that then, or other people that then give them formula. Now they're trying to push, from my understanding, I spoke to a woman who'd had a newborn baby a little while ago, and she said that they were trying to push breastfeeding now, but they didn't try and push it. And a lot of babies reject that milk because it's not right for them, it's not sweet enough, or doesn't taste right for them. And the first food they normally get is the formula. So after they've had the formula, they no longer want that because that tastes better or different, sweeter maybe, I don't know. I'm not a baby, I just can only say what took place in the upbringing of my child, my mental patient that I brought up, and turned into a mental patient, because I was a mental patient bringing up a mental patient, bringing up a baby. His mum is a worse mental patient than I am. A worse mental patient than I am. But I was a mental patient all the same. And you start to put your mental illness onto that child. From birth. First you put them in cages, you're locking them in cages on their own, they start to cry. from the abandonment. You're told to leave them, let them cry, so they stop crying. You try to stop them. You're in there trying to feed them. I'm feeding his bottles at night. His mum was in bed, so I did most of the feeding. Certainly during the night and early mornings, and when I got in from work, I was a doting dad. I loved it. I wanted to be around him all the time, but ultimately I'm a male, and that shouldn't be taking place. It's wrong, and I'm feeding him formula. While every other mammal on Earth that is designed to rear young feeds the babies are fed the milk. Now again, people will judge things on how things operate in farms. When a farm is an unnatural environment and those animals are, it's unnatural from top to bottom. And they're all separated. So they'll say that mother drinks that milk. When, is it that way? Because I don't know. I haven't studied it. But I'm pretty certain that the babies can feed off of any mother's milk. And is it their personal ones, or they belong to everyone? It's just the children. Now, they can drink any milk, mother's milk, bar the newborn mothers, because the mothers who have just given birth to the newborns aren't in any fit state. They do need work, some of them. A lot of women do, and again, I don't know whether even that whole process is wrong. Does that whole process, is that wrong from start to finish as well? Because, you know, women split and need stitching and shit to get those babies out, and you know, there's a lot of shit that fucking happens and goes on in that process. It's quite a dangerous, it can be a dangerous process as well for some reason. Again, is it wrong because the whole thing is done wrong, or is it just part of it? I don't know, but I do know there's a lot wrong with all of it. Now, I just want to point this out. My nose is fucked. That's what years of being a complete mental patient, sniffing up medication. I've got £50 worth of happiness because of wacko. That's what happens. You end up with permanent damage, like my nose. I'm certain, but I think other people's noses may run, but mine just runs all the time. I find it very hard to hold fucking runny nose in. It just drips out, you know what I mean? So I have to keep blowing it out all the time. Whether that's to do with that, but I'm pretty certain I've damaged my nose over years of cocaine abuse because I'm a complete mental patient. But anyway, what I was talking about was, yeah, how unnatural all that is from birth. And because you're raised into a complete wacko nuthouse. And mental patients give mental patient love. Now, I'm trying to get through to people what mental patients call love and what is actually very bad and wrong. It's quite hard because a mental patient does try to hang on to their mental illness. And I'm no different. I'm going to maybe talk about it later on in this video, but you know, I've come to accept quite a few things about myself on a lot of levels that might shock. Well, I've sort of tried to highlight it. I was a complete wacko my whole life on every aspect of it. But I admit it, because if you can't admit you're a fucking mental patient, you're never going to be able to cure yourself. We can't worry about mental patients that don't want to cure themselves. Now, you're born into a world where you're literally surrounded by wackos. A newborn baby is surrounded by wackos, the adults, because the adults are the completely insane. And what happens is this is what you're born into. So you're born into a world where the second you're born, you have people stabbing you with needles and making you cry. You're then taken away from the warmth from the breasts that you're meant to be around, having food. You've got males feeding you, which is wrong. It's wrong, regardless of how much I love doing it. It was wrong. And then you're put into cages and you start to cry for it because you need comfort. So the crying starts from a baby age, crying a lot. You're in a cage and you're in a room that's painted with bright colours, bright letters, bright numbers, and furry cuddly toys, and mirrors with dangly things and mirrors. So you are literally born into the nut house, a complete wacko nut house. And then the mental patients start on you. Trying to make the little fucker laugh. Yeah, we can make it laugh. Do this. Look, he's laughing. Because you're wacko. Make it laugh. Look, he's laughing. Look what he does. Because you're fucking off the head. You're wacko. That's the world the babies are born into. Surrounded by fucking, in a cage, surrounded by dangly fucking bright coloured fucking things, mirrors showing them their face. In a cage, surrounded by furry animals that don't move. And fucking numbers and letters all over the wall. Bright numbers and letters. Then it gets worse. The mental patient parents putting mental illness onto their children. So what they do, it starts with the wacko toys and PlayStations and noises. Bing! Boom! Blah! Grrr! Right, the wow, it's the rattle. And normally those children are on their own with the adults for most of that time. There may be younger siblings around. Some are born into a world with no other children. If you're the first born into the house, you're the only child, or there's just only children with one wacko or two wackos or loads of wackos. Then it starts when they're a baby. They don't even know what's fucking going on. They haven't got a fucking clue what's going on because it's for the mental patient adults that do it. It's their birthday. Mental patients, we celebrate our birthday because it's the most important day in the year for us. It was the day we were born. It's our birthday. And the mental patients start putting balloons everywhere. Because mental patients love balloons. fucking... It's impressed it's got hands, but you're giving it presents. It's a special day. It's their first party. We love parties. Yes, mental patients love parties. And then the training starts. Do what I say. Do what I say. Do what I say. Good boys and good girls get lots of presents at their special days in the Wacko Mental Asylum, where we decorate everything for those special days with balloons. Ooh, balloons! Now, as a child in the mental asylum, I spent hours and hours, days, if not days, days and days and days, literally days, as a young prisoner. And I was allowed out a lot more than a lot of other kids were. But I still spent days and days and days and days of my childhood playing with balloons on my own in a cell. Thinking I'm a footballer. 8 million kick-ups without the balloon hitting the floor. Like a complete wacko. Like a complete wacko prisoner. Mental patient occupying your prisoner life inside a cell. That's mental illness that's starting from fucking ridiculously young age. Like I said, again, as a young child, even back in the fucking early 80s when there was fuck all on the TV, you're a mental patient, copying what you're seeing, riding the arms of the fucking settee, and pretending to be an Indian or a cowboy, killing things, shooting things, beating things up at a very young age. You're on your own. And this is what the world, and this is what the education, the mental patient, Mongo minion mental patient slave training centres called schools tell you that you're meant to do, along with the TV programme. Because the TV is a mental patient's best friend, a prisoner mental patient's best friend, along with the mirror. Because this is the world of wackos. Now, I can't remember quite what I was fucking saying, but yeah, the TV and your reflection. So a lot of the times in those rooms, you're looking at yourself in a piece of glass, the cabinet. The cabinet's got a bit of glass, or there's a mirror in the room, and you're watching all these films. No, that's what I was saying. The education system tells you that, and society tells you it's a child's imagination that is the key to their success. Imagination is making up and living in your own little worlds that live inside your head. That's imagination. Because they train mental patients that live in their own little worlds, inside their own little heads. The world of make-believe, imagination world. The entire asylum is imagination world. It's imagination world. Full of mental patients that dream up their own imaginary reality. And it starts from baby. Your parents start reading you stories, and you start picturing those stories inside your head as a young child. I wonder what that looks like, the imagination world. What was a story I used to, the Tinderbox. The Tinderbox was a story I loved as a kid. All these dogs with eyes bigger than houses. Wow, and you're imagining these dogs with these, you know what I mean? You're being taken into weird, fucked up worlds, and they're all violent, cutting off heads, soldiers, murdering the witches and shit. And this is what's being put into your brain from birth in a mental asylum. Imagination world. And it's horror. Ooh, there's nasty witches in the forest that want to eat children. And you're shitting yourself. Oh God. And they're petrifying you. The adults of the asylum are petrifying those kids. And then you start having nightmares and shit. And the cartoons and the films and everything else does the same. It's wacko world. Wackoness that you were brought into from baby. And then they start with the balloons and the parties. And you get treats, the taste sensations. You get jelly and trifle. Trifle. It's jelly with sponge in the jelly and blancmange. Cream and hundreds and thousands. I love hundreds and thousands. I love trifle. I love a party. The balloons. And you got these things, and you go, you go, and shoots out, and makes a weird noise, because you're being trained as a complete fucking wacko from baby by the mental patient parents. Because the mental patients start putting, that was fun when I was being turned into a mental patient. And most people, by the time they get to around my age, will start to realise, you know, if you haven't already, that the world is a nut. I was like, what the fuck? And you've had to combat your own, you know what I mean? You've been fighting yourself for years. Why do I do these things? What the fuck am I up to? I'm a nutter. What the fuck? How can I change my life? But you ain't working out what sent you wrong. And it was your parents, and it's society and the mental illness, because you live in a mental asylum and you've been sent insane. Starting from baby. It's their imagination. And what you have are wackos in cells, in imagination world. Riding horses on the arms of the chairs. You know what I mean? Imagining you're driving the cars, fighting the men, getting the men to fight. You know what I mean? Because you're being fucking trained, killing everything. You want to kill everyone, and they're hunting. They're showing you shit. Tarzan. You start climbing the trees. You want to be like Tarzan. You'll start falling out of them and shit because you're not meant to be climbing them at that age. And no one's keeping an eye on you properly. So the pain starts, and it starts to fuck mental patients up. So they start, oh no, I don't like getting hurt. You give you fucking bikes. See, you've got to understand, you're put into a concrete environment. You're put into a concrete environment and given fucking toys that cause you fucking pain and suffering. Most fucking people went over the fucking handlebars of a bike. Everyone goes over the handlebar when you first get bikes. That fucks you up. Some people smash their faces up and shit. You got to go to hospital, get stitched up. Why is that taking place? It's because you're in an unnatural environment and they're marketing you fucking dangerous fucking toy. Giving you dangerous things to do on the tarmac and the concrete. Skateboards, roller skates, bikes, scooters, go-karts on concrete. So when you hurt yourself, you fuck yourself up and you got to go to the hospital where the NHS help you. At school, back in the 80s, they made you climb ropes and shit. You know what I mean? Climb them ropes. You got little kids coming off the ropes and mashing themselves up and shit. You know what I mean? Do gym. Let's do gym. You know what I mean? Do gym. PE. You got to do PE. Do gym in the fucking thing. You got climbing frames. You know what I mean? A couple of mats dotted about it if you're lucky enough to get to the mat. You know what I mean? Loads of kids hurt themselves. Loads of kids were going to hospital when I was fucking a kid. Doing it on a concrete fucking floor. Put the climbing frames on tarmac. You know what I mean? These are meant to be educating your kids that know about the start of the universe, but thought it was a good idea to put climbing frames on tarmac. Now, I'll tell you about how young, and I can see it now for everything it was, because not only can I think back and imagine myself as that little wacko baby fascinated by guns and shooting people, stabbing people, regardless of anything else. It was all kids fascinate about that. Play games, shooting things, killing everything, because that's all you're watching on the fucking TV. The mental patient trainer. And this was when it was limited to fucking 4 channels. But again, it's worse because you watch the same things over and over again. And it programs you more. But you've got you're a child acting all that out because that's what you've seen as a male. The girls are into princesses, fairies, the animals and fucking weird shit. And they all, when they're about fucking 16, 17, 18, 19, all think they're fairies. Especially when they're on drugs. Let's dress up as fairies. Go to the rave. Wackos. Anyway. So yeah, it starts from fucking baby. Baby teaching fucking... You're teaching your own children to be wackos. So you start showing them all the fucking programs that turn you into a wacko. And you start to relive it again. Yeah. I love this when I was a kid. Look, Ninja Turtles. I went out. I bought Dungeons and Dragons, the entire box set on DVD. Come on, boy. Now for you to learn about Dungeons and Dragons. You're showing them, you know what I mean? Spider-Man. He wanted to be Spider-Man. He thought he could be Spider-Man at 2 years of age. So by 2, he's already suffering delusions. By 2, I was already suffering delusions. By 2, every human being on earth is suffering delusions. Media, society, prisoner life induced delusions. Children then are scared of the dark because they've been told about monsters and witches and fucking wizards and all manner of fucked up shit and shown enough programs, so that people start becoming scared of him. And can't have the light off. Got to have lights on because you've petrified the children. And the devil and evil spirits, which is the religious petrifying monster stories for the petrify the little children. It's your birthday. Let's get the balloons out. And the baby don't even know what balloons are. It's the parents. The baby sucking its hand, eating its feet. You know what I mean? It couldn't give a fuck about the party. The party is for the mental patient adults. But then as the years go on, the baby loves the party more and more. The party, it's my party. Special day. Look at the special day for the mental patient. What do you want? I want everything. I want all the toys. All the toys. Big mental patients want all the toys. Little babies being trained as mental patients were made to want all the toys because they see all the toys on the TV. And the other kids with the toys. But some kids have those toys and some kids don't. Some kids have toys, all the toys, and other kids don't. So those kids pick on those kids who haven't got the toys. You're tramps. We're better than you. And those kids want those toys. And they start dividing as a young age as well. The mentally ill parents are telling you that you're different. Don't go near that kid. He's a tramp. We got more money than them. They're tramps. Go away. Stay away from them. That child is horrible. That child is black. Or that child is white. Stay away. It goes both ways. My stepdad hated the fact that I hung around with black kids. I knew black kids that I weren't allowed to knock on their door. Only other black kids were allowed to knock on their door. Because the racism goes both ways. Don't play with them. They're Catholics. Don't do that. They're this. They're English. They're, you know what I mean? And the mental patients have started putting that onto the children as well. Putting their mental illness onto the mental patients of the asylum. No one's responsible to have children because most adults don't like themselves and are in constant battle and don't understand themselves why they keep fucking up and doing mad shit their whole life and can't stop. Now you've got a kid to look after when you can't even look after yourself properly or understand yourself. How do you tell a fucking kid about the world and they're meant to be about themselves when you don't even understand yourself? Now, my boy from a very fucking young age wanted to be a superhero, no different to I wanted to be a superhero. And other people want to be superheroes. And then what you do is you start dressing them up, buying them outfits as superheroes. So they imagine themselves as superheroes. Because now they've got the outfit. Now my boy's, I can't remember how old he was, 2 or 3. 3, I think. And he's got a Batman. We bought him a Batman outfit for Christmas. On Christmas Day, I'm walking up the shop. We walk up to the shop, and he's running up the road, going, "Is my cape coming up, Dad? Is the cape coming up? Is the cape coming up, Dad? Is the cape coming up?" Because I'm raising a complete fucking wacko at 3. He's already a wacko. He's already a complete wacko, and he's got a wacko bringing him up that thought that was good. Look how funny it is that he thinks that. It's great to be a kid. Because you did have fun as a child. Well, I did. And some kids do. They remember it with fondness because their adult life has been shit. My adult life was a laugh. I didn't really look back that much, but when I had a kid, I did enjoy all the things. Go out. Dungeons and Dragons, man, is the bollocks. Ninja Turtles, let's get Thundercats. I got Thundercats as well. And you're a kid again, you know what I mean? Just watching all the cartoons, fucking the bollocks. Star Wars, you gotta watch Star Wars. Vroom, 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 vroom. Lightsabers, man. You're a fucking wacko. Kids in imagination worlds imagining themselves to be living in the films, playing with the toys. Imagination land. The land of the mental asylum where everyone lives in their imagination. And in the asylum they give you parks. So they give the bit of green, but they put things in the park. So you've got slide. Whee! You start getting your kids and go, whoo, whoo. They shit themselves, but then they laugh because they haven't got hurt. Look what I can do with a baby. It laughs when I throw it about the place. It's laughing. Loves it. I'll throw you on the bed, bounce you up, catch you. Yeah, you nutter. You push him down the swing. Fucking he loves it. Woohoo! And then it goes from that to theme parks. We've got these other rides, man. They just throw you around. And the pinnacle of the asylum is where every kid wants to get to. Disneyland. If you've been to Disneyland, I've been to Disneyland. The place of magic and wonder. Where everyone dresses up in animal, big giant mouses and dogs. The fairies. The wonder of Disneyland. There's rides everywhere. You got your wackos. Your wackos at that age. That's the pinnacle. Christmas, it's Christmas, the balloons again, a trifle, it's pies, cream, chocolates, wacko, feed them, give them a party, it's a party, go have fun at the party. And this is from fucking kids. This is what the world of wackos that you bring them into. This is the world of wacko. Imagination is vital for your kids' development. It's vital for you to be a complete wacko that makes up worlds and lives in alternate realities inside your own head. In the world of make-believe. We will give you billions and billions and billions of different things for you to make up make-believe inside your head and draw conclusions. what life is, based on a load of stories in books and on the TV screens. And yeah, you're teaching the fucking kids nothing but fucking. You're creating wackos. You're creating wackos. Mental patients putting their mental illness onto their children. That's all I did. Put mental illness onto him. Yeah, he can look after himself in this world very well. But being able to look after yourself in a mental asylum ain't no achievement in life, is it? When you're surrounded by wackos everywhere. That should be fairly simple. But mental illness, another one. When we were in New Zealand, I was living in New Zealand when he started school, and I said, "You got to go to school. You're going to school." Said, "What do I need to go to school for, Dad? I already know everything. I know karate kicks, ninja chops. What more do I need to know?" And that's at fucking, again, 4 years of age. It's 4. Complete wacko at 4. Because I've created a wacko by showing him all the media that I liked as a kid, and it was a lot more available. So by that age, I've already pumped in 1,000,000 times more shit into his head than I had pumped in. Because it was on tap. They've got cartoons 24 hours a day, so it's a lot easier. He's sat there, a lot more quiet, and become a lot more lazy and fucked in the head. You speak to 18, 19, 20, early 20s. They're very knowledgeable kids now. They know a lot about a lot of things. But that's mental illness, because they know a lot about shit, and they all think they're really clever. Now, when I'm talking about 19-year-olds, I'm not talking just about my son. I'm talking in general, all 19-year-olds, and me as a 19-year-old. Your brain ain't working right. It's not properly developed till 30 years of age, because you're still growing and you're still trying to learn how to be an adult, what it is to be a human being up to that age. You should be anyway. But you're churned out into the world, into the mental asylum at, well, it's 16, 18, ain't gonna make no difference. But if you're not fully functional by 16, then what's going wrong? Because the education system has the fucking children longer than you do, because you're at work. You barely spend hours with them a week, you know. And you got to do things, trying to fit life into that, trying to get them entertained, keep them entertained and busy, trying to do what they want to do, and fucking work, feed them, and watch TV, and do all your other mad shit that you fucking do as well. So what you're actually doing ain't doing shit. The education system has them, and the media and society. Their friends, they're going to do more what their friends are doing than what you're doing. No different from when you was a kid. So if you've got to think back. Because what they've done is got people to, oh no, you're not going out into the world that I went out into. I'll keep you in the house. I'll just buy you computers and you can sit inside and be a fucking total retard. But I'll get to keep you. I have a great relationship with my son, daughter. We're the closest ever. What have you done wrong then? It's because you kept out. Why is that? Your kid shouldn't be with you. Your kid should be with each generation of people that he grew up with. You shouldn't be around your parents. If it's around the parents, if the child's around the parents, it means that the parent hasn't brought the child up properly. The child has had a very sheltered life and is unable to look after itself, so still needs its parents around it. great relationships with my son. Now, when I speak to my son, I have a great, we talk very well. But ultimately, he's not designed to be hanging around with me. He should have all his own friends and shit. I'm more comfortable around my friends. I have different fucking interests, different laugh, different brain. Yeah, I can have a laugh with him and shit, you know what I mean? But he doesn't get some of my jokes. He's not clever enough to get them yet. Or not insane enough yet. That comes with age. The older you get, the more insane you get. So yeah, and what they've got now is the computers. So now they not only are being shown more filth and disgust in this murder, mental health, than you could possibly imagine. They actually play it. They're able to control characters themselves that actually do it. So, and this is nearly film-like now, more or less film-like. So they're more or less controlling what looks like live characters. And you get people, little wackos that gain them a computer buddy. That's what their children are to them, is computer buddies. Look at my little computer buddy. He's a wacko like me. We just sit inside all day, occupying our brain with the computer. I'm living out all these weird worlds inside my imagination world inside my head. Or I sit there watching films all day, imagining myself to be in the films and dreaming about all that wacko shit. Murders, rape, horror, filth. That's what they got wackos to watch inside the prison cells. That's better than occupying your time, or easier sometimes than I've written about it as well. My boy, he was watching when he's free again, he's watching I've sitting there watching Hulk, the old original Hulk cartoon on video. And I've fallen asleep after work, and I've woke up, he's got his top off, he's trashed the whole room. Hulk, smash, psh, he's just wrecked the whole place. I'm cracking up laughing, because I'm a nutter. Because he's being trained by the media. All I do with him was watch TV. The majority of the time spent with my son was spent watching TV or driving in places. Or doing shit. Taking him round the asylum. For my own benefit, more than his. Because you've got to play Coco the Clown to entertain them when they're not meant to be with adults. Certainly not mentally ill adults. They're meant to be with other children for the majority of the time. Learning about each other and learning what it is to be a human being and how to do everything that you need to do to survive. What the education, the wacko mental training detention centres, that it's also illegal for you to say, look, I want to take my kid on holiday. They say, no. You're only allowed to it's illegal for you to take your children on holiday or for days out in the nice hot weather. Unless it's one of our holiday periods where what we do then is raise all the prices up and extort extra money out of the population because we've made it illegal for them to take their families on holiday at any other time of the year. So we can just raise the prices up. You've got no choice about it. It's how we look after you. Because it's illegal to take your own child on holiday because they don't belong to you. They belong to the state and the education system. As long as you do what you're told with them, they allow you to pay for their growth. You can house them and pay for them and turn them into wackos for us. As long as you do that, you're allowed them. But if you say they're not allowed to learn about being gay, or transgender. It's illegal. And we will confiscate them because we know about their development. They're ours. We know more than you. Because you're just a wacko that doesn't know anything. Because we trained you to be like that. And just be obedient to what we say. Good mental patience. Let's get the balloons out. And every celebration, every party, you've got to have balloons. Now, what else happens? Which is my biggest mental illness of my life. It's the thing that I'm best at. Is dance. I'm a complete whacker. I was a complete whacker. That's complete whacker. Now let me tell you how I was programmed. Starts when you're a kid, and the disco. No, it starts even younger than that. It starts with Wacko Jacko. Look at this wacko wearing one glove that's sparkling, white socks on, shades, with flashy lighty floors. Do the moonwalk, man. Do, 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 do. Ow! And it's everywhere. Wow, breakdance. That's what I'm watching on the TV. I'll put the video up. Then you've got videos. Like Groove is in the Heart. Look at the colours. That's pure mind control. Groove is in the heart. Groove is in the heart. MC Hammer. You know what I mean? Doom, 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 doom. Doom, doom. Big fucking Running Man. So that's on the TV. Saturday Night Fever. All of these things, all the things. Everyone breaks out into song and dance. All the kids' films, song and dance. Woo-hoo! Sing along. Let's sing and dance. Clap. So when you're as a child, when you're in a room, locked in a cell, watching the flashy screen and copying it what you like. Billie Jean. Do 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 do. Mental patient is on their own, prisoner as a young baby for a lot of the time, mimicking what you were seeing. Then what happens? Because this is the asylum, this is for complete wacko. Discos. It's the disco. And you go to parties and have the flashy lights everywhere. The disco. Balloons again. The balloons are up. Ooh, balloons. And the bunting. Food. Ooh. And the music and the lights. It starts at a young age, like they're fucking getting you at school disco. And you're all trying to be wacko. Yeah, trying to do the running man. Yeah, because that's all you've seen on the TV. Now they're giving you the scenes. Dirty Dancing. Do I look sexy? Am I sexy? Am I sexy? I'm sexy. Wackos. I'm sexy. At the disco. You got some cunt with fucking face paint all over their face. Red, stupid red lip. Am I sexy? Am I sexy? I'm sexy on the dance floor. That's where you start dancing with the girls. You know what I mean? It's like you gotta go to the disco to get the girls. Find yourself a mate or a date. You know, and it starts at fucking kid age, like junior school discos. You know what I mean? Kiss them because you're mimicking what you're seeing on the TV and in society. When you go to the weddings, the disco, and all the wacko adults. Because they're drunk all fucking. Am I sexy? I'm sexy. I'm sexy. And that's what the schools do. So they start showing you this is about the dancing, going to the disco. Disco is where you have fun. And the party is the disco and party for the fucking wackos. So, what as a child, wow, they're superstars. They can do dancing. I want to be a superstar. Oh, because you want to be liked. You want everyone to like you. Because you like being around other human beings. So the more people like you, the more you can do what they're telling you that you should do, the mental illness of the asylum, the more people like you for it. So, if you're funny and horrible to everyone else, all the other kids laugh and like you for it. So that spurs you on even more to be a cunt. If you can beat people up, the other kids like you for it because they've seen films where you watch Champion, the champ. You start bawling your eyes out as a baby, you know what I mean? A kid, no stats, no. I want to be champion. And you watch Rocky, I want to be champion. And everyone, I am the champion. It starts as a kid, I am the champion. We are the champions. I'm the champion. But you can beat other kids up. And other kids like you for being the champion. I'm the champion. I'll be the champion. Because you're wacko, I'm the champion of mental patients. These other fucking cunts. I'm the champion. Fucking John Rambo. I'm Rocky Balboa. I'm Jean-Claude Van Damme. I'm Van Damme. Bloodsport. You watch that and you start jumping up. And you start attacking all your mates. I'm fucking Jean-Claude. Because you're wackos, you're watching this shit and you're mimicking it. Because you're nutters. Because that's what the TV is, the wacko trainer. And what else the schools hold is the fate. Picture the school fates. The
balloons and the bunting of the asylum. Look, and the army will look. They've got uniforms, or the police. Look at the bright colours on their vehicles, the flashy lights and noise, or guns. It's the Red Devils. We get the flyover by the Red Devils. What they got the mental patients doing, because everyone needs to be the champion at everything. You've got to be the champion. Whoever's the best, you be the best. You've got to win all these games, and they start making you get and be the winner. I've got to be the winner. I can beat you at everything. I am better than you. They get you in competition with everyone. I am the champion. And what they get the mental patients doing, and this is what was in the 80s. Welly wanging. Welly wanging. Come on, mental patients. Let's see who can throw the welly the furthest. I am champion welly wanger. Look. Hit that with a hammer. Trying to make that bell ring. And you will be the champion. I'm better than you at that. I'm the champion. I'm strongest. I'm the strongest. I'm the best fucking welly wanger there is. And they give you a trophy. Welly Wanger Champion 1986. Or a medal. Wacko. Because of the badges. And again, that starts, it's from baby, this mental illness regarding badges and weird fucked up shit. You little kids, you know what I mean? Bored out of your brains, stuck with your parents, and that can't play out with the other fucking kids. You get taken out with the wackos. Let's go to the fete. Look, you get one of them stupid paper hats that you stick that on your head. I want one of them, because all the other wackos have got them in the mental asylum. I want one of them. You get a pen. A pen. And a badge. And a window sticker for a window liquor. And they're teaching you to look at the sticker on my window at my cell. I've got to decorate, get posters and decorate yourselves. With Wacko, Jacko, who you want to be, the man with one glove, just shiny, sparkly glove, man. Does the moonwalk. I want to do the moonwalk. I'm a Wacko. Trying to do breakdancing and shit. I was a wacko. Now that's not only, you know, that's harmless wacko, but that's a wacko all the same. But by that age as well, not only am I doing all of that, wanting to dance and be a fucking at the disco, king of the disco, champion at the disco, man. I was already starting to think about I wanted to kill everyone, kill people. I was carrying weapons, practicing killing people with knives and shit. Because that's what you're shown on the TV. Even James Bond and the Cowboys and Indians show stabbing and shooting, regardless of whether there was a lot of blood. See, by very young age, you are a delusional wacko. Preschool. You're already a complete wacko. A complete fucking wacko.
that'll do. I can't really be bothered to fucking keep talking. No, I'm going to watch it back and see where what I can go over, what I need to go over again. But yeah, and then that went into adulthood. See, a rave is just a bigger disco. And again, that's what I was programmed with, all of that shit. And then you have the rave scene, so it's banned. Oh no, the rave scene is banned. It's thing, but you've got flyers everywhere. Everyone, all the older kids are going, so you want to go to, you know what I mean? You're hearing about the raves. Your parents are telling you everyone dies, yet all the older kids are telling you how great it is and that you don't die. It's wicked. And in the media, you've got fucking dance energy that's showing you rave scene, showing you how to fucking shock out and fucking learn all the rave tunes and all that. You've got commercial rave tunes coming in as well with the Prodigy and things like that. Another one, Boglins. I just thought of a Prodigy video with the Boglin in it. Another one that I wanted as a kid. I want a Boglin. You got this little fucking thing with fucking rubber latex puppet because you've been spoken to by puppets, and now you can control your own puppet, a Boglin. Talking to it and making it talk and do fucked up because you're wacko. That's what you're doing. You should be with nothing but other human beings, learning about human beings, what it is to be a human, and everything about your natural environment. Instead, you're locked in cells, talking to puppets, latex little boglins, playing with fucking toys, imagining yourself in cars, imagining yourself as a fairy. You're a witch, you're a wizard, or a sword fighter. Tarzan. Because you're suffering delusions at a very young age. But anyway, yeah, the rave scene. So it was advertised, you know what I mean, the discos. And what they did then, for my age group, was open up over 14 discos. At my school, they held a thing called the Overnight Extravaganza, which was basically, we were allowed to have a rave. We had a rave, an all-night rave, with a DJ who he released this song in the fucking charts, a remix of Pump Up the Jam, you know what I mean, which you should never fucking do. It's a shit tune. But he was the DJ nearly all night, you know what I mean? I'm gonna send him to outer space. And that had just come out. That was the tune. We were all in there fucking... Because that's what they did, the strobe lights. Dude, Roth, man, look, fucking hell. It's like jittery. I'm going to nightclubs. I was getting into Mirage at 11 or 10, I think I was, 10 or 11. You know what I mean? Well, man, look, you glow up. Look at my teeth. Because you've got neon lights and shit. Look, man, it's fucking wicked. I'm at the clubs now because you've seen all the scenes on the TV and the clubs. That's where you're meant to go. That's where the adults go. That's being cool, man. And then they open up over 14's nightclubs for my generation. You're allowed disco. The disco started before. Then the TV is advertising the rave scene to you. And you're hearing about it everywhere, and everyone you know, all the older kids are all going and telling you that it's great, while they're telling you that if you take drugs, you're going to die. And then you have the rave start. And they're all around you. Well, the rave scene just started around you. So the raves were going on, and the over 40. So they've got you in the club. So you're already in the clubs. It's where we go, man.
Who's the best in the club? I'm the ultimate mental patient. I'm a super mental patient. I'm a mental patient that can do more madder, mentally ill shit than you. I'm a better at the mad shit than you. I can do it in time to the music. And everyone at the raves, we nutters. We are nutters. 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 Raving fucking lunatics in the mental asylum. That was my religion. Raving was my religion. It's what I worshipped. Dancing was more. I'm a complete wacko. I'm in my own little world. No one else mad. Me and my dance. I'm in the dance, man. Lost in the music. Take these drugs. And you can dance for like 12 hours non-stop. It makes you feel really good as well at the same time. You know what I mean? The flashy fucking lights, man. Strobe lights. I'm a fucking geezer. I'm the fucking don of the fucking rave. King Nutter. Champion of the rocker nut job. Because the biggest nutter is the biggest geezer. And everyone, well, wants to be the biggest geezer. I'm a nutter. I'll bite your face off, spit it at you because I'm a nutter. Because that's what they've done. That's what they did. That's what you start off. That's what it starts off from baby. Delusional, fucked up fucking little kids at fucking the age of fucking 3. Acting out, killing and murdering. Dancing and fucking doing all other mad fucked up shit. In the wacko world of make-believe, locked inside prison cells. But mental patients tried to hang on to their mental illness. Dancing is complete mental illness. Sort of. But certainly to the levels that it's done. It's wacko. Maybe complete mental illness. Probably complete mental illness. Actually mental illness. Do I love it? Or was I made to love it? Because it was all around me. From baby. Dancing. On the TV. And then I was given the scenes. I want to be the best dancer. The best wacko. Because what they've done in the asylum is make famous mental illness. And they can pay loads of money. Great dancers are paid loads of money and made famous. Great dancers. They are wackos. Play with that ball. Mental illness. But they've made mental illness superstardom. Giving it fame. So all the mental patients dream of being able to do mentally ill things. Because that's the asylum. None of that really fits into this. And I'm responsible for turning my fucking boy into a whacker. You just got to admit it to yourself where you all went wrong. You can't change the past. But my aim is to ensure that children don't have mental illness put on them.